We'll begin with chapter 3 of part 2, normal distribution. In this chapter also we are going to calculate probability, but here the probability of continuous random variable x will be calculated. In the second chapter we have calculated the probability of x for discrete random variable, and in this chapter it will be calculated for continuous random variable. Now beginning with the definition of normal distribution, it is if the probability function gives a bell-shaped graph and this bell-shaped graph will be symmetric, then the distribution is called normal distribution. Now here the probability is going to give us a symmetric graph. You have already studied in skewness, positive skewness and negative skewness. There also a curve in the form of bell shape was being drawn, but that bell-shaped curve was not symmetric. Either it was negative or it was positive, but not symmetric. But once, if the bell-shaped graph becomes symmetric, means there is no skewness, then the probability function is called to be normal distribution. The note says that the curve is of continuous random variable. Now here whatever the graph is drawn, the curve is moving smoothly without any break, hence it is called to be continuous. Second note is, if a random variable can assume any value between the definite interval a to b, then it is denoted by a less than x less than b. That means the random variable x will take the value from the interval. When x is taking the value from the interval, we always consider it to be continuous. And this discussion we have done it already in chapter number 2 while discussing about discrete and continuous. So as it is meant for continuous random variable, it will always take the value within the interval given, all the values within the interval. Now taking up the bell-shaped graph, the curve is exactly symmetric. Both the ends you will find that it is not touching the horizontal line. The horizontal line in the graph is x-axis and the vertical line is y-axis. The vertical line exactly in the middle is considered to be the line of mean or the mean line, that is x equal to mu. Now for the graph to be symmetric, you will find that the value of mean, median and mode are same. Now as per both the ends, if you see, the graph is not touching the x-axis. So minus infinity to infinity written as the limitation of x, or we can say the interval of the mu is from minus infinity to infinity. It lies between the two, and whenever you are drawing this bell-shaped graph, make sure that it does not touch the x-axis. It will just go near and near from both the extreme points. It will go near and near to x-axis, but it will not touch the x-axis. Now if we see the area covered under this bell-shaped graph From minus infinity to 1 can say 0, because this line is exactly the 0 line as it is symmetric. From minus infinity to 0, the area covered is 0.15, and from 0 to infinity the area covered is 0.5. If you add these two area, that is 0.5 plus 0.5, the area covered under the total area covered under this bell-shaped curve will be equal to 1. So the total probability will be always equal to 1. So this is how the bell-shaped graph is being interpreted. Next definition is probability density function. The definition says that a function for obtaining probability that a continuous random variable assumes value between specified interval is called probability density function. That means whatever the probability we are going to calculate of the continuous random variable, it will be assuming the value within a specific interval given. So if the probability is being taken up from a specified or specific interval, then that function becomes probability density function. Now as a note, few important conditions are: the first one is the probability that the value of random variable lies within the specified interval is non-negative. Means whatever the interval given, suppose the interval is a to b, then calculating the probability in this interval should not be a negative number, because probability is always positive. So whatever the interval given, the value should be non-negative. Non-negative means positive value. The second condition is the total probability that the random variable assumes any value within the specified interval is 1. Now whenever we total up all the probabilities, now here as it is taken up in a specific interval, or we can say a specified interval a to b suppose, then if we add all the probability, then the probability should be equal to 1. This condition we have taken up in the second chapter also. So adding up all the probabilities in a given interval, the addition should be equal to 1. Now the formula of probability density function. If x is a random variable with mean mu, here the mean is taken as mu, that is, this is a symbol being used for mean, and standard deviation sigma. This symbol is used for standard deviation, which we read it out as sigma. And if its probability density function is, the function is taken up as fx is equal to 1 upon sigma root 2 pi root of 2 pi e raised to minus 1 upon 2 x minus mu upon sigma whole square, where the limitation of square will be from minus infinity to infinity. Mu limitation is in the interval minus infinity to infinity, and the standard deviation will have the limitation from 0 to infinity. The value of pi is taken over here as 3.1416, but while calculating it in the example, this value of pi will not be substituted. Only we should know the value of it as, for 4 decimal point will be 3.1416, and the value of the exponent e is 2.7183. Pi and e are the constant values. Then x is called normal random variable, and fx, the function fx, is called probability density function of normal random variable. So this is how the probability density function's formula is: if x is a random variable, mu is the mean, and sigma is the standard deviation with all these limitations, or we can say defined in the given intervals. Now whenever any normal random variable x is defined, it is taken up or denoted by as the distribution of this normal random variable x is called normal distribution, and it is denoted by n stands for normal distribution with mu and variance. Sigma square becomes the variance, with normal distribution mean mu and variance sigma square. So normal distribution can also be expressed in this way.